FTM, the story of it. I got no clue what the heck it is. Apparently it's a blockchain. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the show where we build financial power. My name is Matt, and this is
Potter.
Welcome. If you're new around these parts, every Thursday, Friday, 10 Eastern, we go live. We talk about this beautiful, crazy, unpredictable, scary world of DeFi and crypto. I've been taken under Potter's crypto Sherpa wing, and I've been learning this since December of 2021. And what a ride it's been in almost 6 months. I'm at the point where I'm finally starting to see some passive things come in, but what a hell of a bloody market. Things have just fallen out the bottom, but it's interesting to see some things working off in the distance, just over there. You can barely see it. But Potter wants to talk about FTM. Before we hopped on this, I was like, what the hell is FTM? So we started like taking little notes down, and I was asking questions. Like, well, let's just go live with this crap. So first of all, really important question. Potter, how you doing? How's things? How you feeling?
Good. We had that bad Luna eclipse, and we were okay. I mean, we got dirty, right? But then for the past 8 days, it's kind of been, the normal horrible, but still passive income is well above where it should be. Yep. So still good. Today was like an ATH for a daily for the past probably 15 days.
An ATH?
All-time high.
Hey, okay. All right. See, in the fitness world, we say PR in the US. So that I can get on board with ATH. I like it. ATH. Yeah. And we're about to hop into FTM, but I think it is important to note, we're going to do a show at some point about tracking things. And that's been my little newfound clarifying tool, to say the least. So to be able to see that's changed quite a bit. I'm going to talk about it in another show, but FTM, what does it even stand for? Any idea?
Phantom.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Phantom. Okay. Got it. I don't know why I was thinking of something else. So you had in your head, obviously, this story of Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think that there's something recently that has happened with Phantom that why you want to bring that up. So what is Phantom first, and why are we talking about it?
So Phantom is EVM blockchain. Just go with me.
Got it. Yep.
And it's kind of like I'm going non-technical. It's a spoof of Ethereum.
Get out of here.
Right. Just like Binance Smart Chain, right? Just a spoof of Ethereum, right? They do the same things. They manage transactions, blah, blah, blah. Right. But they started in like 2018. Now, my intro to them was it was May. And the guy who brought me in, he was just looking at, for things. And he said, oh, well, look at this. It's got an all-time. It was at 60. Hey, dude, like, look, it's like at 16 or, like, let's just get in. Like, we're degens, right?
Yeah.
So we got in, and then we started learning about their community. It was different because in the crypto world, where do we pretty much get all our info right now? Discord, right? Not Discord, Telegram.
Yeah,
right?
True.
And so now it was Discord. And as a gamer, that was dear to my heart because we're all always in Discord in gaming. And so kind of got to know the community, and it was small. And there was this gentleman, his name's FTM Alerts, and kind of helped me even come up with the idea to ask you to, hey, let's do a show together.
Really?
Yeah, because he was just talking to the devs. He would come in and say, I don't know anything, I'm not even a dev, I'm not technical, But,
sorry, could you say that again?
Thanks. Yeah. So, I started watching them, and, he started interviewing people. And that's when I started recognizing the diamond hands and, the whole rah about, crypto, because there was this one group called Spirit Swap, And I mean, their community, like, I dare to say anything bad about their community, they'll come get you. Not in a bad way, but they're just very strong. They have, it's more of a gaming community inside of there, on top of investors. And so it was one of the first times that I was able to look at something and go, I saw their AMA, ask me anything. And they interviewed their guys. And this was so early that when people came in and out of the room and the door would close, their internet would cut off. Right. But one of their leaders he just graduated from college. And I'm like, I mean, he was so smart. Like the things that he did with them, he got their token up real high. But I'm like, he hasn't failed enough. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not looking for somebody with the right stuff. I'm looking for somebody who's failed a lot and doesn't quit.
Sure.
Right. And so that was one of the first times that I grew up as a crypto person going, as much as I want to be in, because that's so appealing to my gaming side, I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
And I did my first full evaluation of exchanges, and I said, you know what, those should be worth 2 cents, right?
Okay.
And that's what they all were. And at the time, as a person who was investing $50 or $100, hey, that was like some people, for them, doing like $20 or $100. But I was growing the same way. So you got to know them. There were communities who got rugged. That's how I found Tomb. And so Tomb is what put Phantom on the map. Tomb is owned by a money manager, he's far more than the money manager. To be his client, you have to have 25 million. Right? So he's a billionaire. And there was this project on Tomb, on Phantom. It was called Tomb, and we just all loved it. I mean, it was just a community. It was called the Seniorage Project. Look it up. We'll go into that on another show. And we just loved it. We loved it. And somebody decided to say, hey, did you know you can get around the taxes if you do this? And everybody went whoosh. And the messed up part was they were going to take that part away in like a few days. But the fact that it was a seniorage project means that you have to have community support. It doesn't work.
Okay.
And so everybody left. And this billionaire, he picked it up and he dusted it off. And, it, for me, Drip and Tomb were doing, neck and neck. They would go up and down at the same time. And so that's when, people started to go, oh my God, what's this Phantom? It's unheard of. I got to get in. So FOMO'd. And what we're starting to see with a lot of these influencers is it's great that they bring people in, but they bring in some of the worst people. They bring in people who are just going to go, I want to go in. Oh, no, I don't want to go in. Yeah. And that just destroys it for all investors.
Yeah.
Right. So Phantom, it grew to $3. Like it was at 26 cents. Tomb kind of got a little bit of a name. There started to be a alt season, they called it, and started running up. And I'm like, just like you saw with Drip, you can't go up that fast without a very painful, slow release of air from that balloon, before you find your bottom. And it's really hard sliding down that wall, right? So the reason that I wanted to talk about them is because they are still, after all of this, a tight-knit community, but they're more development. So they come up with a lot of great ideas. One of the big people who brought notoriety to them, his name was Andre Cognier. And I consider him an artist. I think he celebrates, he says that he would have made a great supervillain. So naturally, as that person, that doesn't make me happy. But he was really smart and he brought innovation to Phantom. The critiques of Phantom have been, despite its crazy speed, when you do a transaction, it's just done.
That's nice.
It doesn't have a lot of what's called nodes. And validator nodes are what's needed to help a system become decentralized.
Mm.
If there's a whole bunch of these systems out there, then you don't have to depend on a couple.
Yeah.
Right? But it's got, I think, less than 50, and some of the bigger ones have hundreds. So for that reason, when things go crazy, like people panic, the network will slow down.
Okay.
Or you'll have to pay incredible gas prices, but it just doesn't happen that often.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons that FTM is also as popular as it is because of the technology that it uses to process transactions. You know how when we were trying to get you over and we had to do the Bitcoin and we watched it?
Yeah. BNB to wrapped and all that. Yeah.
Right. So FTM has this component where it says, you know what? Enough of us have seen it that we're pretty sure that this is going to be okay. And that allows the transaction to go through because the level of algorithm and scientific function built into the security of it, it's going to be pretty hard to be wrong.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know if you know about this, but when a processor makes a choice, like you heard of multi-core processors.
Yes. Yeah.
What it does is, if you imagine all the cores is the flash,
Okay.
it gives the instructions to one flash, and it goes, I don't have the rest of this, but we'll send the second flash, and we'll probably catch up to you by the time you finish that computation.
Okay.
It just works, right? Our CPUs do make guesses. We didn't know that, but they make guesses, and then something comes behind it to confirm it. That's the same kind of technology that's being used in FTM to process those fast transactions. And those fast transactions kept me at FTM because Polymatic, like you heard about them, and they're so sexy, and you know, they're the new wave. But I went over there, and I hit that, you know, approve button, and I couldn't believe I was sitting there waiting 20 seconds, but I did remember it because when I first got into crypto and we were on Ethereum, Scott was telling me, hey, just be patient. This is the way crypto is. I was like, what? Because you remember how you were at the beginning? Like we all are.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on? What's
crazy slow?
Why is it taking so long?
Bitcoin took,
you know, you just think it's gone. You know, I'm the first person this is going to happen to. It's all gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I went over to Polymatic and that was happening, I was like, no. And then my company that I was working for at the time said that they were going to start working with them. I'm like, So it's just a really powerful network where a lot of innovation is coming out. And I think that you're starting to see people say, like myself, if I develop anything, I'll probably put it there because it's going to be cheaper to deploy.
Okay.
Right. And it doesn't have as many rugs because people talk about things. They go, hey, do you know this person? No. So you're probably not going to get, you know, a lot of rugs like you do on Binance Smart Chain. At least my experience has been that.
Okay.
So, you know, there's FTM alerts. There's, I told you about Andre Cornier. There's, his name is Bebus. He's a developer. I think there's Andre, and then I think there's Bebus as far as a developer. And what's so interesting about these technologies in development specifically is because all these blockchains, apps that we're starting to see are becoming software companies. So the bigger win, in my opinion, not financial advice, is going to be who's the best developer. We know we got Forex.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But on Phantom, there's some up and coming, you know, really good developers that people don't know about. And you're starting to see things. And then you have the Tomb Fork, which they're planning on creating their own blockchain, you know? So it's just Phantom is such a unique place. And the theme is everything is like, you know, ghoulish or darkish, you know, like Halloween. And that
tombstones for tomb and all that. Yeah. Very bones and stuff. Yeah.
But there's some really good projects over there, and you're seeing business systems being developed over there. And it's harder to say, hey, that's a place to invest better than Binance Smart Chain. I think Binance Smart Chain is definitely about investment, not innovation. But
Yeah.
Phantom is about investment and innovation. But you have some of the brightest developers over there, in my opinion.
Okay. So to say the least, this show, Phantom absolutely has a hand in its creation and its start, the reason that we're here, which is interesting. I did not know that. And the big benefit I hear is that it's very fast, very fast, which I can completely respect. One being fast, messing with Bitcoin, going to Bitcoin Wrapped and then getting it into Binance, and then working with some of the blockchains now. You're right. Like, it's so funny. If there's ever like a 7-second delay, you're like, come on.
Yeah.
You're just immediately enraged. Just like it's almost like having good like your Wi-Fi's good. It's almost like you'd rather just not have Wi-Fi than have spotty Wi-Fi.
Yes, that's true. That's
just don't
true.
give it. So that's
or that feeling when you go to your favorite site and it's just a normal HTML error, but the page doesn't load. Then you go, oh, great, it got rugged. And then you hit refresh and it still doesn't load. And you're like, come on, be there. And you hit reload again and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been a hard one.
So you can definitely agree that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin and all that, they've made it to the mainstream. That's more of a buy and hold, centralized coin and all that. But BNB, I feel like, granted, I'm in this world, it feels like BNB is much more widely accepted than, say, FTM. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think it's going to take for FTM to get more of a point of more mainstream adoption? Or is this like what we talked about on our last show, actually, of should it, is it meant to get to more of a mainstream?
That's the bigger question. Is it meant to, get as high as it can? I think it is, because all of this technology is, yet to be born. If you're here and Phantom is in the teens, you're still early, because this is technology that's going to be used to form the world. Like, this isn't just investment. This isn't just get rich.
Mm-hmm.
The world is being born. These new technologies are going to power spaceships, for goodness sake. This isn't small stuff. We have to get through the man-made idea of hurting each other to do whatever, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems for thousands of years, mankind has always survived that, and the technology is always gone. Usually gone with them. Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing here is just this innovation. I think that when you did somebody say something? When you take a look at Binance Smart Chain or FTM, one's just ahead. They say, like, when a kid who learns how to read before they get into kindergarten,
mm-hmm.
The other kids catch up with them at a certain point. It's like, you can teach your kid early, or you can let them be a kid and let them catch up. Which one do you go with? I don't know. But I think they're definitely the same. I don't know if I answered your question or I talked too much.
No, I mean, I think so in a roundabout way. And I mean, I think a good wrap-up point would be, of course, none of this is financial advice. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. This is all a learning game. And if you're feeling squirrely, slide on by every Thursday, Friday, 10 Eastern. We do this. But I guess in closing, is there a project that's Potter's favorite right now on FTM? Again, not financial advice.
Yes, Tomb.
It is Tomb. Okay. All right. See, I didn't know if that was your favorite or... Okay.
Well, the silent sleeper is Protify.
Okay.
They have really good. Well, but then there's
there you go. and this is what it's like to talk to Potter offline.
Yeah, Protify. Those guys, they really have their stuff together too. Just smart devs, when you see people who listen to their community, that people are completely transparent. And I do prefer doxed. There's something probably about people showing up, knocking at your door, to probably keep you a little bit more, alert. But I would go with Tomb and then Protify, but Reaper and Oath, which is a token by Beebus also. There's a lot though. There's a lot.
Top 4, top 3.
Yeah, like if we had a stream just specifically about FTM plays, we could go down all of them.
Well, drop it in the comments if you guys would like that. Let us know, because I know Potter's got a heck of a list, and to be honest, I think it'd be interesting to hear. It's a world that I'm not familiar with. And side note, as we're wrapping this up, I want to give a little shout out, a little clap of the hand to Potter. I know I'm not the only person that she's helping on the side here. She's got a Patreon, if you did not know, and she has a few people that she's helping on Patreon. And I think obviously not even in a formal sense, but this is the first real bloody market that I've been in crypto since December. And I'll tell you that a pat on my own back is that I definitely believe in the technology. I believe this is not going anywhere. I believe that, yes, you can find the right horse, but you got to find the right jockey. Yeah. And if you don't have both, then it doesn't really matter. So learning to go through this bloody time has been difficult. And I can feel myself coming out of that being like, all right, it's going to be okay. The bloody times are gonna come. But it's my first real experience with it. But I appreciate you, Potter, and your patience and the time you've put in to understand the psychology of somebody that is new to it. And it's like, oh, I don't know about this, So I appreciate it. It is something that needs to be pointed out. And I think it's a lesson to people that are learning as well, especially if you're brand new to this, that there are ups and downs, peaks and valleys in every market. It's never going to be a straight line to this quote unquote success or financial power. The lessons that we learn here is what gets us to financial power. So I want to thank you for your patience, because I can only imagine on your side, you'd be like, shit, is he just going to completely pull the ripcord and get out of here? So I appreciate the patience. I'm here for the long haul, and I really do. I appreciate it.
Well, I like that you gave yourself your own pat on the back, because there's plenty of people who are like, peace. They pull the ripcord and they're gone. Like, hey, you should see. Oh, wow. It 200x. Yeah, sorry.
That was really good looking.
Oh no, man, you can't come back in.
So if you're worried about the bloody times, don't worry. It can't always be night. It can't always be night. So you got anything in closing?
No. I hope this wasn't like, we have these fill in the days, but this was an important one to me because
for sure
I found my way through the crypto universe and grew up on FTM. I got to be somebody who saw it go from pennies, like literally pennies, up to $3, over $3, and then come back down into the 20s again. But to know that nothing changed since it was at $4 or close to $3, over $3. And so you can too, like if you want to get in to something like that and you're an explorer, naturally, not financial advice and only put in what you can afford to lose, but that's a place to go spend pennies and say, okay, if this was $100, right? This is what I would have gotten. And like Matt was talking about, we're going to go through our show about, writing stuff down. That's how you know.
Changes perspective a lot. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Builders, keep building.
Cheers. Not for nothing, I nearly forgot to